Good morning, Mayor Dan Pope with a weekly update. We'll stay on topic from last week with budget for most of today's comments, and probably will continue to do that for the next several weeks as we work through the budget. But several of you have asked me about debt and what we're doing to avoid debt. We issued less debt last year than we paid off. The same thing the year before. We're making progress on the debt, but let me give you some concrete examples. One is the master lease. The city did for many years what they called a master lease. It was really more of an installment purchase. That's how they bought vehicles, computers, PCs, printers, and just I don't feel like it was our council didn't feel like it was the best way to do things. We've gotten rid of that program. In fact, we've refinanced. That's maybe the best way to do it. To explain it, we've done some tax notes on it, but it allows us to reduce our interest payment, not lengthen the term, but we're getting out of that business. In fact, last year and this year together, we've only financed 6 pieces of equipment proposed for this year and last year. And those also, that's a bus, a couple fire trucks, a couple big piece of yellow iron for landfill, and then a big compactor for the landfill. So things that are going to last many, many years that make sense to finance. This year, 80 out of 83 pieces of equipment that we're going to buy, we're going to pay cash for. You learn to say no. Last year, we put back into use 24 LPD cruisers that were sort of in our reserve pool. We spent about $3,000 each on them. We painted them. We put the new technology in them. You've seen they're the Crown Victorias. You've seen them. They're painted black and white, and they're out on the street. So it's using those assets that we already had instead of going out and buying a $30,000, $35,000 Tahoe. Street maintenance. We're doing street maintenance, but we're not issuing debt. We're doing it out of cash. $7 million this year, a proposed $8.5 to $9 million next year for street maintenance. So that's some examples of that. We have to keep doing that for it to pay off, because that's how you chew down that debt. That's how you start to provide some flexibility in your general fund and reduce the overall debt load. We've also worked on some efficiencies. Often efficiencies will save us money. One good example of that is, you can imagine with all the vehicles we own, from cars in our fleet to police cars to the fire vehicles to water, LP&L, we've got lots of tires on the ground, and we didn't have a tire truck. We now have a tire truck. We've got a crew that when we've got a tire that goes down or a vehicle goes down with a bad tire, we can respond, and we're averaging just a little more than 30 minutes on response. That's significantly better, more than 2.5 times better than where we were getting previously. That doesn't mean we don't use the private sector. We still use them for that, but it allows us to operate more efficiently. We don't need a crew down waiting on somebody to come fix a tire, and I think that's what you expect from us. One question to clarify a little bit about the public safety initiative. Remember that last year, all of 2017, we worked on police facilities. We decided in December, unanimously, the council approved the project for 3 police substations, a new downtown administrative headquarters, a new crime lab and warehouse, police warehouse, and a municipal court. 4 of those, all but the south and north substation, will go on land that we already own. The east substation at May Simmons, the warehouse and I say May Simmons, 19th and MLK, up not in the park but up on the hill. The warehouse and crime lab at the old animal services area off Municipal Hill, and the municipal court in a building that we own immediately west of Citizens Tower, where we'll be retrofitting that building. We unanimously supported the project. It's going to cost $60 million. We then had a vote on how to fund it. You'll remember maybe that it was a 4-3 vote. Some of us thought that citizens should be able to vote on it. Others voted to issue certificates of obligation, in other words, debt that the council can issue. It was a 4-3 vote to issue debt ourselves, COs. At that point, we basically voted to increase taxes a penny this coming year and 2 pennies in the following year. No more than 2 pennies. It may be a little less than that. But remember, that penny will be on our taxes for next year. It's a little less than $15 a year. That's what that penny will cost. $15 a year on the average home, which is about a $150,000 home. So you can sort of do the math. If your home's worth more or less than that, you can figure out how that might impact you. Finally, there have been a number of questions sort of changing off budget. The stormwater project, what we call the Northwest Drainage Project, which is from Maxey Park north up Peoria underneath the Marcia Sharp, and then switching out to Quaker around Greek Circle and going all the way to Clovis Highway, north of Clovis Highway. That project, we had $35 million in 0% interest dollars from the Water Development Board to do that. That project is now finished. It was supposed to be a 2-year project. We finished it in a little more than 18 months. In fact, it came in well under budget. We'll take those funds that were in that original $35 million, as well as some cash that we have in our stormwater fund, and we're working on part 3 of that, and more to come on that. But that project is finished, under budget, and on time, and many of you have asked me about that. So that's it for this week. We appreciate your good ideas, certainly your thoughts and prayers, and I look forward to talking to you next week.